Make sure you guys can be able to hear that. And my headphones. Oh, I can't find them. Let's take a look at this stupid ass shit. This is stupid. Insanely stupid. So yeah, here we go.
A major development and breaking right now in Gaza.
The Palestinian Health Ministry says as many as 300 people were killed after a strike on a hospital in central Gaza. They go on to say there were as many as 500 victims in all. The Israeli military says it is investigating just what happened.
At this hour, the
Rafah
border crossing on in southern Gaza on the border with Egypt also remains closed. There is still no agreement around how and when to open it. Foreign nationals trying to leave Gaza still cannot get out. At the same time, lines of trucks carrying humanitarian aid cannot get in. Gaza's only specialized cancer hospital says now it will shut down in less than 48 hours.
They said that what was hit was a hospital
for its generators. NBC News senior national correspondent, anchor of Top Story on NBC News Now, Tom Yamas is with us in Tel Aviv, and NBC News correspondent Aaron Gilchrist is with us in Washington. Tom, I want to start with you. We mentioned that strike on a hospital, Palestinian sources saying that it's quite bad, that there were many injured and dead. Can you tell us what you know?
Yeah, Kate, the story is changing pretty quickly. The initial reports out of Gaza, the hospital in central Gaza, Al-Ahasi, that about 200 to 300 people had died. There are now reports that up to 500 people are dead in what the Palestinian authorities are calling an Israeli airstrike. Now, the Israeli Defense Force has been asked about this. So far, they're not commenting.
Everybody that gets out of this ambulance right here, nobody's got any blood on them, and nothing's like messed up on them, and they're all just kids like looking there like, what's going on? Watch.
They say they are going to investigate, but as we see in these images right here,
they got their faces covered.
Being rushed to other hospitals. But if this were to be true,
see this guy right here. Swear to God, look at this guy. There's nothing wrong with this guy. He's wrapped up. There's nothing. He has none of his clothes were ripped up. Nothing. So he was in a hospital and got hit by a bomb, and it killed 300 to 500 people. And this guy don't have any rubble on him and no blood, no. I don't buy it. That's bullshit. 100% bullshit. God, this is so. It's propaganda, I guess you'd call it.
But if this were to be true, this would be one of the biggest retaliation strikes, possibly by the Israelis, since that Hamas terrorist attack. And when you're talking about 500
look at that. What's wrong with that guy?
Wonder how many of those people are innocent civilians. If this indeed is the case, it is still so fresh and obviously a very fluid situation over here in Tel Aviv. At times, I'm looking to my left because we just heard a loud boom about maybe 10, 15 seconds ago. We don't see anything in the sky. A couple of hours ago, there was a rocket. Two rockets that looked like that came over Tel Aviv. The Iron Dome looked to have intercepted that. I'm pretty sure we have some video of this.
I'm pretty sure he's green screened in
Tel Aviv and different cities around Israel. From what we know, the rockets
I'm
you
green
see here
screened
caused
in here.
0 damage so far. But it's still
I don't believe there's a laser system either. I ain't seen the laser system. I've seen a picture of it.
Worse as you get further south, and even up here in Tel Aviv, you're seeing scenes like this almost every day and night. Guys.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
Yeah, I won't be doing that. Let's see what else we can find. I've seen a bunch of this shit like this. I've seen the one they were wanting, it was, what the hell was their name? Hold on a second. Let me fix this right here. Were there, the war in Ukraine. They were wanting F-16s, and one of the pilots. Let me see if I can find that. Ukrainian.
Do you think this speaker vote's going to take? We need to get the speakers.
We live in a fucking clown world. Yeah, this one right here. It's this one right here, but it. Yeah, right here. Make it bigger. I hate when it does this shit. I'm gonna get to the good stuff first. I think it's right, probably right around here where I was at, or right here.
And a huge number of toggle switches. In the F-16 cabin, everything is optimal.
Okay, it's right here.
Built.
Increase your profit.
This is how
and
they
work
get shit
less
from us is
time
they
with Kiddle, a
they
genius new AI tool
fake
which is
shit like
perfect
this,
for
kinda like
print
the-
on
just-
demand. You can conquer.
The Gaza one I just showed.
Ability
Bullshit.
to control the plane was lost.
He aimed his crashing MiG at an open field away from a village and then ejected at the last possible moment.
Look at that.
Recording this
Like
video
he
as he parachuted.
yeah.
There was plenty of time because I was flying from a height of about 4,000 feet.
Yeah, look at that
I took
blood.
this photo to check my health because I was bleeding. And secondly, to
Check his
reassure my
health.
comrades who were worried about me, whether I was alive.
Ukraine's president named him a hero of Ukraine. Now, as his country battles for the contested legendary city of Bakhmut and prepares for a counteroffensive, pilots like Karya take off on even more high-risk missions. Sorties flown just 65 feet above the surface to duck enemy
go back
radar.
into that again.
Karya shared with Scripps News
Here it is.
rarely seen footage away from a village and then ejected.
So
at
he
the
ejected,
last
and this is him
possible
coming
moment.
down.
Recording this video as he parachuted.
There was plenty of time because I was
no.
flying from a height of about 4,000 feet.
What's that light back
I
over there?
took
Did you see
this
that
photo
street
to
light?
check my
Hold
health
up.
because I was
What?
bleeding. And 1,000 feet. From a
Recording this video as he parachuted.
Right here, you'll see a little light right here.
There,
Or it's gonna. Right,
there was
let me go
plenty
back.
of time because I was flying from a height
Right
of
there.
about
Right there.
4,000
Was that the moon
feet.
or something?
I took this photo to check my health because I
Took
was
a photo,
bleeding.
yeah, got
And
his- got his
secondly,
phone out
to
when he's
reassure my
parachuting
comrades
down.
who were worried about me, whether I was alive.
Yeah, they were worried about. So would you call him in the air?
Ukraine's president named him a hero of Ukraine.
Hero.
Now, as his country battles for the contested legendary city of
Bullshit. That's bullshit. 100% bullshit. I can't see any. If there's a chat window, I'm fixing to pull my phone up and see if I can find one. Ikarios on Bakhmut. Okay, now I got. Let's see if there's a chat window. Good deal. All right, so let's see if we can find some more examples of bullshit news. Because I know there's a lot of it. Let's just see what comes up in the feed. Let's see. We're just going to go watch some YouTube stuff tonight. Comment on it. Oh, look, there's Ryan right there. Oh, look at that. It's me. Oh, let's see what they say about it. Let's see if there's a video of the explosion with all the cameras in the world. It's not good green screened out, is it?
Hundreds of people were killed at a Gaza City hospital.
No, they
Hamas
weren't.
blames
I don't think
Israel
they
for the
were.
blast, but Israel says the hospital was hit by a rocket misfired by Palestinian militants in the Gaza Strip. The attack comes just one day before President Biden is supposed to go to the region to show support for Israel. Fox's Madeline Rivera has more.
I'm thinking about it.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken still making the rounds in the Middle East, pushing for a diplomatic solution as the fighting between Israel and Hamas intensifies. And on Wednesday, his boss, President Biden, is expected to visit the region, meeting with his counterparts in Israel and Jordan to offer his support ahead of a likely ground assault inside Gaza.
There will be U.S. involvement. Israel will not be alone. From our perspective, it's something that we really feel. It gives us strength.
And American involvement in this war is deepening. The Pentagon issuing ready-to-deploy orders to some 2,000 troops in the region, but say they'll be used for military advising and medical support, not for combat. And none are expected to be deployed inside the Gaza Strip.
We know we have special operators on the ground right now assisting, advising. I think they would be there also if we were able to locate Americans.
Meanwhile, Israeli airstrikes are continuing to target Hamas, but Palestinian officials say they're increasingly hitting civilians as well. Israel insists every airstrike is against a legitimate military target, claiming a, quote, large number had been called off to avoid civilian casualties. But in the Strip itself, a major humanitarian crisis is now unfolding.
Scant shelter, fast depleting food supplies, little or no access to clean water, sanitation, medicine, and other basic needs.
And officials
quit
here in
fucking
Israel are gearing up
starting
for a
wars.
long fight, saying it could take months
Piece of
or
shit.
years to fully defeat Hamas. In Jerusalem, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.
Yeah, it's good.
I love
Garbage.
Buff Elements because it has everything I need in one place. It has videos, it has music, it has sound effects, it has graphic templates and video templates.
And now they're saying, "Oh, we did not." And I don't believe they did bomb him. Just judging by the shit I just saw, no, they didn't. It's bullshit.
Well, I'm joined now from Tel Aviv by Mark
I'm gonna
Regev,
get off the
Senior
screen for just a
Advisor.
second.
To the Israeli
To the Israeli Prime Minister. God is smoking my weed. Go, lady. Start talking.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and a former Israeli ambassador to the UK. Good evening to you. Was it you?
Good evening to you, Northman.
Apparently not. We're the whole time gathering more information, and now the highest probability appears to be that this was an Islamic Jihad rocket. And as crazy as that sounds, the statistics are clear. In past rounds of fighting, some 33% of Islamic Jihad rockets that were fired into Israel fell short and landed in Gaza. Now, our intelligence is reporting to us that there was Islamic Jihad fire which was over the vicinity of the hospital, and apparently a rocket malfunctioned and hit the hospital. We had such documented case in the last round of fighting, I think it was in 2021, where everyone said Israeli atrocity, we hit a target, we killed an innocent family, and in the end, we could prove with a video that it was their rocket that was launched, and they actually saw the rocket land. Now, of course, in Gaza, there is no independent civil society. The Hamas has ruled there for 16 years, and all the voices that you interview all say Israel, 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 because that's the party line. But I urge caution. I urge people to think about this. You've got to hold off judgment. We don't believe it's us. We're still looking, of course, but we don't believe it was us. And all the evidence seems to indicate that this was a rocket fired by Islamic Jihad. That's Hamas's younger brother, its twin terrorist organization. And it was their ordinance. We do not target hospitals. Let's be clear. Israel does not target hospitals.
Well, it's not just the
I'm that
party
guy
line,
now.
is it? I've stood at the border myself. I've seen your airstrikes on apartment buildings. You have the capability to cause utter devastation
Look like I got
to
big
the
ears
people
now.
of Gaza City. that's what's happened tonight. The real fact of it is, whatever is the cause of this, it might be too late. The touch paper has already been lit. Do you understand that?
But if the paper is being lit, to use your metaphor, by a lie, by Hamas propaganda,
you two need to stop.
blaming Israel for something that it didn't do, surely you should be saying that. And we should be trying to make the world understand that Hamas, which has no qualms about killing brutally innocent Israelis, has few qualms about lying. Why would they admit that it was a terrorist missile that killed their own people? Of course, blame Israel. But it's our job, and I would say it's your job in the media, to get to the truth and not to parrot.
No, it's definitely not to get to the truth. I'll tell you that. It's definitely not
is
that.
responsible for everything that goes
I
wrong.
like Sky News too.
Obviously
I hope
Hamas
we're
will say
not
that.
pulling some.
Well, how quickly can you prove
bullshit.
that it wasn't you if it wasn't? The point is that people in places like Ramallah, in fact across the Middle East, will blame Israel, and therefore, I put it to you, that your proof may come too late.
That's possible. I mean, there are people across the entire Middle East who are willing to say, believe the worst things about Israel and about Jews. They have all sorts of stereotypes, yes, but surely responsible people must hold off judgment until the facts are in, and I urge you to do the same.
Even before this incident, we heard from the World Health Organization today that 2,800 people in Gaza had lost their lives, 11,000 had been injured. Those weren't all misfired rockets. You are causing civilian deaths in Gaza, and many will now say that after this, enough is enough.
So, first of all, I know there's a tragedy unfolding in Gaza, and this is a war that has taken too many lives on our side. But those numbers you quote, they stem from the Hamas-controlled Ministry of Health in Gaza. That's where those numbers come from. How many of those were combatants? If you tell me that all those 2,000 were Hamas combatants, I'd say to you, good, that's who we want to kill. But of course, the Hamas Ministry of Health isn't telling you how many were combatants and how many were civilians. And of course, they're telling you, their impression is, oh, they're all innocent people. No. You have to be skeptical. This is a regime, a Hamas regime, that just a week ago you saw the sort of brutality it's capable of doing, and yet you're believing its press releases.
Tell him,
Can the US
dude.
president still come
Yeah, like, look at this shit. Tell me where the blood and the rubble and all the stuff is on these people.
With
There's
Mr.
none.
Netanyahu. It's best he doesn't come, isn't it?
I disagree.
Like, how all these people just showed up at the hospital and they're like, oh,
the British Prime Minister is supposed to come, the French President is supposed to come, the German Chancellor was here today, and the truth is the world has been outraged, not by Hamas propaganda, but by Hamas's actions. The world has been outraged by the brutal massacre of innocent people on October 7th. The world has been outraged by the beheadings, by the ISIS-type violence, by the lining up of people and shooting them in pits, the murdering of babies, the kidnapping of some 200 people and abducting them back to that is the true story here, not Hamas's propaganda and this sort of false equivalence between a democratic society that is defending itself from a terrorist threat and between a group of ISIS-type terrorists who butcher Israelis and treat their own people, the people they claim to resent, even worse.
Probably like, we're filming here, guys. Come on, we need people in the background. We're filming. We need all these people back
the
here.
Palestinian leader has already pulled out of that four-way meeting.
Like, look at it, see if there's any blood on these people, rubble or anything.
We'll see what happens with the Egyptian president, even King Abdullah of Jordan. We'll see what happens with that. You know, this idea of consensus over meeting Joe Biden is already falling apart. You know, the moral equivalence of what happened in that terrible, terrible day on October the 7th, does that allow one war crime to follow another?
I disagree. There's no comparison. You're saying they commit war crimes, we commit war crimes, we're all equally bad. That's not
Everybody's
true.
equally
Can
bad.
I remind you that when the international community united to fight ISIS, yes, ISIS controlled territory. In that territory there were cities.
This is a fake story.
Famously in Mosul, in 2016, in defeating ISIS, there were, unfortunately, civilian casualties. But defeating ISIS was the goal, and the world is better with ISIS defeated.
This guy's probably telling the
truth. It's the same with Hamas. We are trying to avoid civilian casualties. The people of Gaza are not our targets. Hamas is our target. Hamas is responsible for this war. Israel is responding to violence that was inflicted upon it. We are targeting Hamas's military machine. We don't want to see innocent civilians caught up in the crossfire. I'd like to be able to tell you at Sky News that we can promise there won't be a single civilian hurt in this war. But you know that's impossible. There hasn't been a war in modern history where civilians haven't been caught up in the crossfire.
Well,
but what I can say as the representative of the Democratic Society, we will make every effort. We will make every effort to minimize civilian casualties. Hamas, however, does the opposite. When we ask Palestinians to leave,
so why wouldn't they blow up
combat
here and
areas,
shit?
But it is not
They would.
happening. It is not
Why do you say that? Because you believe Hamas propaganda that Israel is responsible for these deaths? That's
Are
the
you
basis
saying that
of your
every image we see on our television screens has been fabricated from somewhere else? That every child we see pulled from rubble and taken to a
Where's the rubble on this? Show me the rubble on this
supplies
video.
is a
Show me
fake
where
picture?
this hospital was
And
blown
in
up.
Mosul,
There's got to be a
pictures
video of
as
that.
well.
Has to
War
be.
is very, very difficult. We don't want to see civilian casualties. But who is responsible
So
for
sorry,
this war?
are you saying
Who is
are you
who
saying there is
responsible for
collateral
this
damage
war?
of civilians, or are you not saying that?
I am saying the civilian population of Gaza is suffering. I am saying that there are civilian casualties. I'm saying we are making a maximum effort to minimize those casualties, as Britain does when it fights wars. We don't want to see civilian casualties, but we cannot allow Hamas to have immunity, just as you didn't give ISIS immunity when you defeated it in 2016 in Mosul. Don't judge Israel by a standard you don't judge yourself. That's not fair.
Not fair.
Well, you know that was led by Iraqi and Kurdish forces in Mosul. I happened to be there.
With
at the time,
British
actually,
support,
as Mosul
correct?
was
With
falling.
British support, British air power. Now, I think the British did the right thing in defeating Hamas, in defeating ISIS. They did the right thing. They saved the world from evil people. ISIS had a territorial caliphate
Do you
in
understand,
Iraq
though?
and Syria. But can't you understand that Hamas has got the same sort of terror enclave? They've taken over territory. They've butchered our people. They treat the people of Gaza terribly. It's time Hamas...
In case you don't know, these motherfuckers have been fighting forever. I mean, for thousands of years. Like, whose God's the best? Whose prophet? Like, who's... Well, they say Jesus was a prophet. I don't know what... I think that's what the Jews believe. But... This guy right here... What is this? This guy's for... a speaker for Israeli, but they said something about a laser system, space lasers, Jewish space lasers. I seen a picture of one, but I did not see the actual video or a video of it. But you know what? Let's see if we can find one, because if we don't find one, then it's probably a bunch of bullshit. I don't think the laser's going to be up there that high. Where's the power supply going to come from? It'd be a big fucking power supply, a really big power supply. Okay, so well, that's kind of funny. It didn't come up first pick. Hold on a minute. Oh, look at this. Here we go. This is somebody else's. I don't know who this guy is, but let's look.
MTG, I don't know if there's proof that she ever said that, but the rumor was she said something about Jewish space lasers. And look, what do we have? What do we have? We owe her an apology. What do we have in October 2022?
That came from the ground up.
Jewish space lasers. I didn't even think about that, man. I'm mad I didn't think about that angle. I'm really mad.
That came from the ground up. That wasn't in fucking
space. Been in
space.
the lineup for me to talk about, just so I could have got that.
You see what I'm talking about?
I'm sure other people already got it out.
Yeah.
That's funny. Thank you, Metalopoli. That is hilarious, man.
The Iron Beam. Jewish space lasers. All right. I don't really want to. I ain't watching that much.
Seltzer.com. Get some 8% seltzer.
It ain't even gonna play. It's too. My stream's running too low.